Industry plants that failed. Matty Balls. Still a funny name, by the way. It's a new upload from my nigga. You know, we fuck with Matty Balls over here. Matter of fact, let me like this bitch on phone number 8. You feel me? Industry plants that failed. Now, I can name it. I really name industry plants. No, I really can't. I don't really think I can name industry. I heard that was some shit. Motherfuckers thought Polo was in. That shit was fucking weird. But yeah, I don't really know a lot of industry plants. I'm just kind of like, feel me? Like, I don't know. Like, who y'all fucking considers a fucking industry plant? But let's get to this shit though.
Industry plants are artists that are planted in the music industry by labels
I remember
or other
this.
important people.
What is this nigga name? Ian Door, some shit. Ian Door. I don't fucking know this, folks, but I think for sure was an industry plant.
Sometimes they can be hard to spot, and sometimes they are
I've seen this bitch somewhere.
painfully obvious and generic, which can deter people from wanting to listen. And those are the people that we're going to be checking out today. So today I have gathered 4 artists that were planted in the music industry but failed to grow. But first, let's quickly define what an industry plant is. So the term industry plant is thrown around.
Somebody that just randomly, it's like an NPC, you just randomly just pop up out of nowhere. Like, you just, no background about you, you just there. Like, yeah, I am. It's like, who the fuck is this nigga? Like, what the fuck, where did he come from? Like, you just there. Like, it's like you just spawned a no more. You an industry plant, folks. Like, what do you mean? Like, the name shit.
All the time, with tons of people giving it different definitions. For example, when you Google industry plant, the definition is artists who have only just started in the industry and are then picked up by a major label and groomed to be a star. But the issue with this definition and many similar ones is that it can be applied to a lot of artists. The whole point of a label picking up an artist in the first place is to help them blow up. A better definition is an artist who is a major / indie label backing their movement but presents themselves as a homegrown startup to create the illusion of an organic following. But the issue with this definition too is that whether or not you're an industry plant, a lot of artists aren't very talkative about their label, and a lot of artists like to run with the did it on my own narrative. So that doesn't really help narrow down the list.
Well, that's true. But obviously you got a lot of rappers that obviously, you know, actually come from that did it on they fucking own. Feel me? So that's everybody in, but there's some niggas I don't know industry plants.
However, for the sake of this video, I'm going to define industry plants as artists who sign early in their careers and have their image created mostly by the label as some sort of marketing gimmick. What I mean by this is that these artists have their personality.
Pretty much like say if I sign and they'll just literally make me like I'm a whole street nigga. Pretty much like that. Which we know damn well, like, yeah, I'm a hood nigga. I always tell motherfuckers, I'm a hood nigga, not a street nigga. There's between a hood nigga, street nigga. Hood nigga is a nigga that just so happened to grow up in the trenches. He knows what's going on. He outside playing basketball, football, what the fuck he doing? Just hanging out on the block, shit. And then there's street niggas that just be just selling drugs, killing, drilling, gang banging, shit like that. I'm not that. I have to always tell motherfuckers that because every time I tell motherfuckers I'm from Southside Chicago, you know, since I got like dreads now, and matter of fact, even before I had dreads, now that I got tats and that, and how I look, motherfuckers automatically just think like I'm just a gang banger. Oh, you from O Block? This like no, gang. First of all, I'm from Kilowatt. I ain't from O Block. I'm from 079 Kilowatt. Shout out my block. I'm not from fucking, I'm not a gangbanger. I'm not a shooter. I'm not a killer. I've never, for the most toughest shit I ever did in my fucking life was in GTA. And I'm dead ass serious. It was in GTA. Like, I don't, come on, boy. Like, I ain't no shit, boy. I ain't no shit. I ain't no bitch, but in the same time, I ain't no shit. Like, I don't do shit. Like, hell no. I know some niggas, but I'm cool. I was cool off that shit. You feel me?
Their music and their style tailored to a certain audience, which typically comes off as very inauthentic. You'll see what I mean as we go throughout the rest of the video. So let's start off with one of the most notorious industry plants that there is, Jumex. So Jumex is one of the first.
This nigga, that's his name. Because I was like, I recognize this nigga. This nigga, I remember I was just seeing this nigga. I wasn't seeing him a lot, but I would just see him places. I was like, where the fuck did this nigga come from? What is this nigga? Bro, this nigga look like a fucking industry plant. He's like the definition of a fucking industry plant. This nigga look like a fucking NPC. Don't get me started on that Kid Boo ass nigga.
First artist that people tend to think of when it comes to industry plants. He's an artist who started blowing up in 2019 after the release of his song Loner. However, it was pretty apparent right off the bat after the release of his first song Trapped that he was an industry plant. The song was a cookie cutter yell rap song where he's yelling the hook and then he raps a verse while forcing his voice to sound like this. The chorus was these lyrics repeated over and over again. I'm trapped and I can't get out, so might as well get high. I'm trapped and I can't get out, so might as well just die.
Sometimes I be thinking, folk, it's funny because when I was a shorty, for like a little while doing the whole drill era shit. I was thinking of becoming a rapper for a little bit. That dream lasted for like a week. I was thinking about like doing a little rapping shit. Obviously, it didn't work out because I can't fucking rap. But it's like when I see shit like this, I be damn. Like, if this is all I gotta say on the verse, boy, I promise you, if y'all let niggas like Lil Pump, Smoke Perp, Cardi, and all this shit in the industry, why the fuck I can't become a rapper? Because I promise you, I'll be raw as hell on my brother grave, shorty.
And I don't mind mediocre lyrics and stuff being repeated. Like Lil Pump is a good example, but at least Lil Pump had some sort of character and some charisma that made the song fun. Jumex's song was just, hey, X is popular, let me try to copy that. But the reason it was apparent that he was an industry plant because of this song is because it was his first song, and it had a music video directed by ex-Odd Future member Taco, who's pretty up there in the music industry. And he was already signed when this song was released. So then it begs the question, how did Jumex get planted? Well, Jumex was your average high school SoundCloud rapper who was fascinated by music from artists like Lil Peep, X, and others. He was releasing some music before he was planted, but it was even worse than his newer stuff.
You were never there, hearts broken to despair. I saw you in the summer, just a girl with long hair.
It just sounded like some Lil Peep inspired music with poor production. And that's how all his music was at the time. And on top of that, he was trying to look the part of a SoundCloud rapper as well. However, he went somewhat viral after posting a video online where he was smoking in his class and yelling "World Star." This video caught the attention of Bradley Scoffern. Bradley Scoffern is a guy who's worked a lot with Odd Future. He used to help manage Tyler the Creator and worked with Golfwang. He had been working with them as early on as 2012 and also worked as a carnival director at Camp Flognaw. So people theorized that Bradley found Jumex from this video, heard his music, decided to invest in him, hooked him up with some industry connections, and therefore planted him in the music industry. People have also said that the label he was with, Corton Records, was created by Bradley, made to look like some indie label, even though there was tons of money behind it. Like I said, this isn't a confirmed fact, it's just speculation, but it would make a lot of sense as to how Jumex got all these industry connections. People also theorized that Bradley had Taco direct his first music video and song, and Taco even played it during his DJ set at Camp Flognaw in 2018. His following song, Loner, was released shortly after Trapped, and he had writing assistance from I Love McConan, who actually helped him on a bunch of other songs, which is kind of sad when the songwriting is so terrible. There's also screenshots of Jumex asking people to write him a song about flexing but emotionally. He got a Genius interview for this song and people clowned on it, with top comments like, "Jumex looks like a Monster Energy can personified." Jumex also did this
Yo, comments be funny as hell, boy, when they don't be forcing that shit.
thing where he would just glamorize being sad because it was trendy, really trying to appeal to the emo type of community. So with a little bit of digging, it looks pretty obvious that he was planted in the music industry. And after releasing some EPs and singles throughout 2019 and 2021, collaborating with people like Lil Xan and Travis Barker, it seems like he parted ways with Corton Records. His numbers started slowing down, and Corton probably realized that their investments had failed, so it's likely that they pulled out, or maybe Jumex left them, I'm not sure. So as of now, he's been releasing his latest songs independently with little to no success. I honestly think that the reason he failed is because his first impression was so terrible. The music wasn't great right off the bat, and the industry plant thing was so apparent. In my opinion, his music did get a lot better over time, but because people had these preconceived notions about him, they didn't really want to check his newer stuff out. And that brings us to our next notorious industry plant, Baby Goth. So Baby Goth is an artist that just appeared one day. She popped onto the scene when she was featured on Trippie Redd's album A Love Letter to You 3 on November 9th of 2018. Shortly after that, she released her first song, Swimming, with Trippie Redd and Lil Xan. So right off the bat, she looked like an industry plant.
Oh, like I said, all right, that's what I'm saying. All these motherfuckers look like industry, right? You don't even gotta try to like guess these motherfuckers industry plants. They look like them, boy. They straight look like industry plants, shorty. Like, I swear.
First song wasn't even out and she was already on Trippie Redd's album, but there's a bit more to the story. Before she became Baby Goth, she was always really into music. She started making music under the name Bria Bueno and had been doing covers and releasing her own music. She was even with an indie label called Rewind Records. In 2016, she posted an Indiegogo campaign with the attempt to raise money so she could make an EP. Unfortunately, though, she only raised $320 out of her $14,000 goal. Eventually, she was able to release her EP called Babyface, which was more like a pop sounding project that was actually pretty decent. She had a pretty good voice, and I think she could have had more potential with that had she not rebranded. Baby Goth was doing a ton of things to try to get noticed, and she claims that she was eventually noticed by some people in the industry who found her on their Explore page on Instagram. She then signed to Republic Records, which is a branch of UMG, which is one of the big three record labels in the music industry. Right. And when she got signed, she underwent a huge rebrand, covering up her previous career and creating a new image, which is a theme we see among many other industry plants. Her new image was was face tattoos, flexing money, and posing with guns. Her and her label were also seemingly hiding the fact that she had a husband and 2 kids, so clearly...
Excuse me? Husband and 2 kids. That's a grown ass woman. Like, that's a whole wife out here. Bitch, you got 2 kids and you married. Okay. All right.
Her label was trying to make her appeal to a certain audience, which, like I said earlier, is a marketing gimmick. Baby Goth then began blowing up after her first few songs. However, though, shortly after she started releasing music, she was exposed by a YouTuber named Progress, who basically proved she was an industry plant. He even found a video of one of her managers saying himself that he made her entire image and brand. He said that she was like a potato with no personality, so he gave her one.
She has no personality, so I was like, since a person can't speak, you gotta make them look cool, right? So we get a cool name, right?
Shocking, am I right, Chad? That's super shocking.
Face tats, because all these artists got face tats, right? So you build an aesthetic. You build
face tats, do the classic all posted with guns. I'm super edgy, face tats, where nobody understands me as fucking personality. Fucking legend, man.
Right? So when she walks into the office, she looks cool. You know what I mean? That's all labels want.
And that was insane to see. I cannot believe that he admitted that online for people to see. And honestly, her music as Baby Goth wasn't even that bad. Like, I'm not gonna go listen to it personally, but that brings me to another point that I want to make in this video. At the end of the day, in my opinion, if the music's good, that's all that matters. Anyways, she released an EP and continued releasing music throughout 2020, including a song with Slim Jimmy. But as she kept releasing, her numbers continued going down. The fact that she was an industry plant and her music seems so inauthentic is most likely the reason why her career didn't work out. She's been teasing new music to this day, but has not released anything since 2020. Our next industry plant is Sorry guys, 1 second. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey man, I'm watching your new video and I love your shirt.
How are you seeing the video? I'm filming it right now. It's not even out.
Yo, I seen some shit on Dante's story about hyping up these AI music. Dante says some, I forgot exactly what he said, but he said some shit about y'all gonna keep hyping up these AI generated music, like songs and shit, to a point where this shit's gonna get big enough to where motherfuckers are actually gonna start selling these shits like actual, where labels are gonna actually start treating this shit like actual fucking like records. Y'all better stop doing that shit. You gonna fuck around and have random ass fucking like artists that are like passed away have music again, but just AI generated and just really, really fucking good and shit, and just make rent, boy.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Anyways, where'd you get that shirt?
Well, I got this industry plant themed shirt that I'm conveniently wearing in my video about industry plants on www.mattyballs.com. These shirts actually come in 4 designs. The original,
me personally, I don't listen to AI
pastel
music
plant, and the one that I'm wearing in this video, the cloudy day. Each design comes in black and white and is printed on a high quality t-shirt made 100% out of cotton.
Wow, that shit sounds fire as fuck.
They sure are, man, and they're the perfect shirts for summer, which is just right around the corner. For the low price of $30, you can get yourself a shirt, and guess what, man? To incentivize viewers to watch to the end, I've hidden 3 one-time use codes throughout the rest of the video that either give you free shipping, 15% off, or even 50% off.
Wow, that idea is genius.
Yeah, I totally didn't steal it from other YouTubers, but yeah, hopefully they don't find them so I don't lose more money. Anyways, bro, I gotta finish this video, so I'll catch you later.
Sounds good, man. I tell you what, back in Scranton, I was gonna get some chocolate chip ice cream on my bicycle, I tell you. Bicycles, they're a wonderful thing.
Yeah, whatever, man, I gotta go. So yeah, I came up with this design a while ago and Swaggy Supply Co. wonderfully executed it. So if you want to support the channel, this would be a really good way and I'd really appreciate it. Once again, it's mattyballs.com, not too hard to remember. So yeah, make sure to check out the shirts if you're interested. Anyways, back to the video. Our next industry plant is someone with one of the most fascinating origins out of anyone else on this list, and his name is Smiles. So Smiles is a rapper whose name may sound familiar because he was featured on 6ix9ine's album Tattletales.
Man, you saying that shit like I know that nigga. I don't know no fucking Smile. Nigga, the only Smiles I know is from Chicago, boy. You feel me? Long live Smiles. He dead now. He died in 2016. Long live Smiles, boy. It's the only Smiles I know. Fuck wrong with you? Brick Squad Smiles. It's only Smiles I know, boy. I I don't know no
on the song
fucking
Charlie. He released his
them-
first song as Smiles a day before that 6ix9ine song came out and has been releasing music consistently ever since. He hasn't seen much success and has only had one song since then crack 1 million plays, and that was a song featuring Snoop Dogg called Happy. So how did an extremely small rapper get featured on 6ix9ine's album and get a feature from Snoop Dogg? He's gotta be an industry plant, right? Well, I can't say whether or not he's a traditional industry plant because he's had a career spanning over a decade before becoming Smiles, but I do consider him an industry plant of some sort, and you'll understand why after I explain it. So I think we should start with Smiles' dad. His dad is a man by the name of Bruno Mascalo, who is a multi-millionaire with an estimated net worth of $575 million.
God
Now, the
damn.
reason I think this guy's his dad is for 3 reasons. 1, he follows Smiles and a Smiles fan page on Instagram. 2, they both have the same name. 3, he mentioned in an interview he has a son in a rock band in LA. And you may be wondering, isn't Smiles a rapper? Why'd you say that he's in a rock band? Well, that article is from 2011, when Smiles was in a rock band by the name of Drive A. He was the lead vocalist and guitarist, and I'm not gonna lie, their music was pretty solid. The band was formed in 2007 and put out music until 2011. They released 2 full-length albums and they were actually pretty successful. Drive A has a music video with over 160,000 views, and there's a ton of people in the comments saying that they actually missed the band or that they saw them live on tour with other bands. However, I can hardly find any information about this group, and after breaking up in 2011, Smiles joined another band called Raw Fabrics under the name Jack Franco. They started the band in 2011, and by 2014 the band had just finished a nationwide tour that they headlined and then released their debut EP, Gold Handcuffs. In 2015, after releasing their second EP, it seems like the band split, leaving just Jack Franco, who is now going by Jack Bruno. He was also struggling with drugs, which may have had a hand in that. Jack Bruno was active as Raw Fabrics until 2016, when he decided to go solo as Jack Bruno, but instead of making rock music, he made rap music. I believe he started releasing rap music in 2017, and that's when his career got extra weird. He had songs featuring Famous Dex, who was super hot at the time, and he also had a song with Playboi Carti. For some reason, some of his music was released as 92 Jack, so it seems like he's been having identity issues throughout his career. Regardless, he was somehow very involved in the industry and had tons of connections. He's opened for artists like Wiz Khalifa, Juice WRLD, Lil Pump, Lil Skies, 6ix9ine, and Ray Shremmerd. It's left a lot of people wondering how he was able to get these connections, and I've seen some people speculating that he paid for them. And that would make sense since no one really knew who he was, and he was even booed off stage at some points.
I mean, shit, right. I mean, if your dad a millionaire, boy, you can do what the fuck you want, boy. You already said folks' daddy was a whole motherfucking millionaire. You feel me, folks? Come on, G.
I feel bad for how hard he was clowned on, but the music was kind of cringy, like this live Dunkin' Donuts performance he did.
Trying to eat a diet, then you eat a donut. When you're trying to stay sane, then you up and go nuts.
Anyways, he released a lot of music as Jack Bruno, although most of it's been deleted from streaming services. But then in 2020, Jack Bruno again rebranded to Smiles, whose persona was essentially that of a 2010 smiley face emoji. It seemed like he was trying to have a similar image to 6ix9ine. He came out as Smiles under Create Music Group, which is the same group that has worked with 6ix9ine, YNW Melly, and more. So people speculate that the reason he has all of these connections isn't because a label scooped him up and tried to make him an industry plant, but instead people speculate that he's just asking his dad for money so he can pay for these extremely expensive features and pay to open for people on tour. So that's why I'd say he isn't a traditional industry plant. It's more like he used his dad's money to actually plant himself in the music industry. And since he only has 18,000 monthly listeners despite all of these features and connections, I'd say it's been a failed attempt. So yeah, Smiles' career is crazy and I haven't seen anything like this, so maybe I'll do a full video about it one day in depth. And that brings us to our final industry plant, Icy Narco.
I'm Icy Narco and I deserve to be.
This bitch ass nigga. This bitch ass. I'm pretty sure a good handful of people on the internet know about this Lil Pump lookalike. Like, I was so confused about this nigga because I never checked. I promise you on my daddy and brother graves, I ain't never heard not one song about this nigga a day in my life. I don't know who he sounds like on the song since that. I don't even know what the fuck he sounds like on any songs, boy. This nigga really came out of fucking nowhere.
The XXL freshman because I taught SpongeBob how to play the clarinet.
Now, I think the
nigga.
insane success of the SoundCloud era had labels foaming at the mouth trying to capitalize on it, because Icy Narco is a clear-cut Lil Pump clone industry plant. And while making this video, I realized that my definition of industry plant may have been a little too strict, so I'm gonna bend my definition just a little bit for this section, because Icy Narco did have a tiny bit of buzz before he got signed, and he also had a very similar image, but it's still pretty apparent that he's an industry plant being marketed towards a certain audience, and here's why. So Icy Narco began making music in 2016, back when he looked like a normal kid, but he didn't really get much attention. Throughout 2017, he changed his sound and style to be much more similar to that of a Lil Pump or some other trendy Florida rapper. His music was very mediocre, but the sound was trendy, so he did garner a small fan base. Songs like You, Viagra Niagara, and more helped him grow his audience. Because he was already appealing to the Lil Pump type of audience, the label he would eventually sign with didn't have to do much to alter his image. It was already there. They would do some other inauthentic, cringy stuff, but I'll get to that later. All they had to do was just scoop him up and push his mediocre music, which is exactly what happened. Icy Narco signed to 10,000 projects in late 2017 or early 2018 and instantly began blowing up. He even said himself that when he signed to 10K, he hardly had anything and had recently just moved out to LA. This is a label that's worked with artists like Ice Spice, 6ix9ine, Ian Dior, Trippie Redd, Coin, and many more. His first few songs that were released on streaming instantly blew up and he got millions of streams. Icy Narco got a
Oh my god, do y'all think Ice Spice the industry plant? Face ass. Shit, if she is an industry plant, that shit fucking worked.
for interview and was seen with many other artists like YNW Melly and Young Nudie. However, the gimmick wore off quickly and his streams immediately plummeted after his first few songs. And of course, some people were enjoying his music even before he signed, but it was very short-lived and a lot of his views were probably just from people who wanted to check out the new and blue Lil Pump. He dropped his album Winter Can Be Murder in 2019 with 10K and it performed very poorly. It seems like his label even had him link up with Gary Vee for some reason, maybe for publicity or PR, but it's clear that this was a corporate decision. Regardless, after 2019, he stopped working with 10K Records and has only released 5 songs since. The reason he didn't work out is because his style was so unoriginal and it was very obvious that the label was just trying to capitalize on this trend. Most viewers were aware of this too, with top comments like, "This guy jacked so many rappers in one track," and XXX the Smoke Pump God. And again, I wouldn't say his music was that bad. It was decent, but it lacked any originality and it was capitalizing on a dying trend. So despite 10K Records planting him in the music industry, he failed to grow. Let me know if you have any other industry plants you'd like me to talk about in the comments below. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you're interested in checking out one of these shirts, I think they're pretty cool. You might like them. Make sure to get them on mattyballs.com. I'll have the link in the description below. Other than that though, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This has been Matty Balls and I'll see you guys next time.
Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 man. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, man. Wow. Fucking. Can't fucking stand them. I just want to choke the fuck out of a fucking industry player. I'm playing in GTA. I'm at WVID though, man. WVID. Oh man, WVID. Oh, man, chat.